What is up, my friends? Welcome back to another episode of Dr. Yawgmoth's Clinic. My name is Dr. Brandon Osborne. I am the assistant clinician here in the office. You, the residents today, I hope you have a good learning experience in the clinic. We are going to be treating a patient who is diagnosed with a condition known as Hammertime. We are going to be utilizing an intervention to treat this patient where the treatment plan is as follows. Sometimes they're just going to win. There's nothing we can do about it. Sometimes our treatment will be unsuccessful. Other times post-board, our hands, we will aim to keep those with sideboard cards in them or a quick Yawgmoth. That will lead to a successful outcome in the patient's treatment. Lastly, be patient. We will aim to be patient with our use of force of vigor in this matchup. We don't want to blow it right away because that could potentially lead to a poor outcome. Prognosis in this matchup, we have about 60% chance of success in our treatment, and I think we should have a good outcome with our intervention here today. If you're looking for more information about how to treat this patient, you can look in the description below. There are notes that you can follow along with. And additionally, of course, don't forget, hit the subscribe button, give me a like, thumbs up if you enjoy this video. This match was a little bit drawn out, but I hope there's some points in it where you can find some value. And if you have any questions for me, your assistant clinician, please feel free to fire them away in the comments below. Enjoy the match. I'll see you soon. What is up, my friends? We are back at it. I am jumping into a match against True Nightmare, who is actually a buddy of mine. I don't know what he's playing though. He's a former Storm pilot. He's on a Lurrus deck. This is my second take at making this video. The first one, I got disconnected. We won the first game and the computer crapped out. We're going to try this again and see if we can actually get through an entire video here. Lurrus deck, our hand is pretty good. So we're going to give this a go. We're going to keep it. We're on the draw. So leading on Bobble, so we're thinking Death Shadow most likely. Nope. Appears we are playing against Hammertime, which this hand is okay against. I'd rather be on the play. Could be in trouble here. Because we have the Twilight Mirror, I'm just going to fetch basic here. We're going to develop our mana next turn. We have options, so we're going to make use of those. Paladin. So they have Metalcraft, so they can equip for free here. This is not ideal. As happens sometimes against Hammertime, sometimes you just lose, and that's what it's looking like here. Even if we get rid of the Memnite, they can just equip everything over to the Paladin, so we'll probably just die in a little over a turn here. Oh wow, that actually does something. That's interesting. That's funny, we actually have an out. I didn't even think about that, but that's pretty relevant. Let's see what they do here. Okay. So if they hammer onto the Memnite again, okay. I'm just going to concede at this point. I think them being on the play was too much for us to overcome there. So we're bringing in our artifact package against this deck. We are bringing in Liberator, Force of Vigors. Let me check my sideboard guide here real quick. Just to verify, I'm pretty sure that's all we're bringing in, but I just want to double check. Right, this is operating too slowly. I'm just going to freestyle it. So I'm going to shave a Wall of Roots. Shave an Evo into Chord. Second Wall of Roots. And an Endurance. We'll see how that pans out. This hand is not good. We cannot keep this. This hand we can keep. Could be better, but I think it is good enough. We have a sideboard card. We have some ramp. I think we're going to get rid of Peatland. Go from there. So it's unfortunate if they play out a bunch of ones and we have to crime punishment on one because we are kind of leaning pretty heavy on this bird, but you have to do what you have to do, and that's pretty good. That's a little tricky for them depending on what they want, what their hand looks like, whether they take Yawgmoth or they take crime punishment. Both are obviously very strong against them. Okay. So to me that says they either have more discard or their hand is just like chock full of zeros and ones. I'm actually going to pop a counter off that because we might get Dryad Arbor. It is not clear. So if we can stick Yawgmoth next turn, we are, I'd say, heavily favored. We will see how this pans out. Okay. I think we're in pretty good shape here. They got a Memnite. They'll pump their Smith. Typically this matchup comes down to whether you can get a Yawgmoth down on turn 3 or if you have sideboard cards, which usually you're able to do one or the other. Doesn't always pan out that way though. Alright, so we're getting our Dryad Arbor just to have another way to interact with their board state. Verdant is fine. In hindsight, it looks like choosing the crime punishment over the Yawgmoth was probably not the right call. I think we just work our way towards a second undying creature. So I think we're going to pop the Memnite to start. Blood Artist is fine. So there's our undying creature. I'm going to hold the Young Wolf for the Yawgmoth. We'll play our land, and then we have the win next turn. And if we're in a pinch, we can just draw a bunch of cards and hope to hit a Force of Vigor, which is also relevant. Sentinel, doesn't matter. They can pump their Smith as much as they want. We have a pro-humans creature in play, so they can't really get through it unless they have the Shadow Spear. That text on Yawgmoth is incredibly relevant. People forget about it all the time, but it makes a huge difference. Alright, so assuming they don't have interaction, we should just win here. Card is pretty good. So this list right now is running 2 Boseiju. I've liked it up to this point. I don't know for sure if that's where I want to stay, but it feels like it's been relevant in a lot of matches. Alright, so they scooped. Second Undying's creature, scoop. Alright, so what did I do here? 2 wall, 1 Geist, 1 endurance, 1 cord. 2 wall, 1 endurance, 1 cord, and 1 Geist. Okay. Take 3, game 3. Usually this matchup's really close. Game 1 is usually whoever goes first, whoever's on the play, and then games 2 and 3, I think we're favored. Overall, the matchup is favored for Yawgmoth. Just having access to Force of Vigor and Crime Punishment are just really, really strong cards. This hand doesn't do a ton, but the fact we have Force of Vigor, I think it's a keep. We hope that doesn't get Thought Seized. If it does, we're in trouble. Yes, I'm not sure if he shares his account, but this is Frankie Rodriguez's account, who is a Storm player. He's a good guy. I'm not sure if he remembers me or not, but we've met before. He keeps his 6. Alright, so he Thought Seized us. He's getting our Force of Vigor, so we might be in trouble here. Alright, so we drew Blooming Marsh. He knows the rest of our hand. I don't want to give him extra information, but at the same time, Blooming Marsh is the best land to play, and Verdant can search for Dryad Arbor. I think giving him the information is worse. So I'm just going to get a forest and play out the bird. He'll find out about the marsh eventually, but I don't want to give him information right now. I don't want to give him the green light to go crazy. Alright, Smith. See what he gets. Nothing. Yikes. Alright, we're going to play double Yawgmoth. And now we'll play our Blooming Marsh. Alright, let's see what he's got. He mulliganed. He's got 4 cards in hand. See if he has another land. If he can, I think he's in big trouble. Or maybe not big trouble, but some trouble. Obviously he has the tutor with the Saga, which is relevant. I don't think he has another land. Oh, he does. That was surprising. Okay, didn't swing, which makes sense. We're going to lead by drawing a card. Not ideal. Yeah, him taking the Force of Vigor out of our opening hand was really, really relevant in terms of our overall game plan. I mean, you can just see how the game would have panned out much differently had we had that up to this point. Yeah, it would have been a very strong card to have. But it's not over yet. We get 2 draws next turn with the Peat land. Got our draw step and then the Peat land on top of that. He's spending his turn making a construct, which is only a 2/2. Well, I guess it'll be a 3/3 once he gets an artifact. We'll see what he gets here. I feel like in this situation, Pithing Needle might actually be the best option. If he doesn't really have a lot going on. We'll see how he plays this. Pithing Needle, name, Nurturing Peatland. Alright, so he went for Hammer. I feel like that might have been greedy. We'll see. He's got a 3/3 Smith. I'm fine taking the hit here. Alright, Beseiju is strong. This card is just so good. Alright, let's draw a card. Let's see what we're working with. Endurance can be good as well. Let's see what he does. Flashing in Endurance can pretty much negate his attack if he doesn't have anything else. I feel like this might be a turn where he brings Lurrus into his hand. So this works out well. I don't really love these cards in my graveyard. I like the Force of Vigor, but I don't really want the lands. I think we'll just pass on shuffling. And now, so I can give him the Smith, and then he can Lurrus it back, as opposed to the construct he can't. So I think I'm going to block the construct here. Sanctifier is not great. Blooming Marsh comes in untapped, so we'll play that. And then do I attack? I think I do. Getting aggressive here. A Yawgmoth would be really, really good. Did he just whiff again? 0 for 2. That's pretty bad.
we are flooding out hard. Play a Verdant, and we're probably going to get a Dryad Arbor with that. Thin our deck out a little bit. This is not the most exciting game to watch. A lot of draw go going on right now. It's interesting, but it's kind of whoever top decks first. A lot of lands. I don't know how many lands I've drawn in a row. I'll have to rewatch this, but it's been a lot. Fortunately, Boseiju has a little bit of a splash value as a land. Guessing he has another land in his hand. Not great. I mean, you have a lot of blockers, which counts for something, I think. I'm surprised he hasn't brought Lurrus into his hand. Alright, Stoneforge is pretty good. It's going to give us the opportunity to kill one of his creatures. Maybe more of his creatures, to be determined. If he doesn't get Shadow Spear, we can just jump block. So we'll see what he does here. Might not even be worth popping the Boseiju for it. So we have a lot of good draws. We have Chord, we have Evolution, we have Yawgmoth. Grist is fine. There's a lot of choices here. Some sort of artifact destruction, like a crime punishment on 2 or 1 would be really good. Probably 1. Alright, he's waiting. That's fine. Alright, so there's the Chord. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think we just do that now. We'll see if he scoops. So one of the like subtle things about Boseiju, like there's so many subtleties to this deck which are really, really great, but with Boseiju, it's kind of like a minor detail. I think all the channel lands have it, but if you have a legendary creature in play, it costs 1 less to activate. So it doesn't seem like a big deal, but it's actually really, really relevant when it comes to, when it comes to activation cost. So I think we're going to start by getting rid of Memnite. Double Boseiju. Seems good in this matchup. Ignoble. Fine if he wants to flash in something right now. Liberator's pretty good too. I don't really know how much I need to do right now. I think we're pretty protected. All right. So I'll let him make the move, and then we'll go from there. See what he does. If he wins from this position, I would be very surprised. I have 3 pieces of artifact hate, artifact enchantment hate, available to me right now, plus an active Yawgmoth. So I don't see him coming back from this one. Sorry, Frankie. This has gone a little bit quicker, or a little longer than what is typical of this matchup too. Usually it's not this grindy. It can be grindy, but not this much. Sure. I'm fine with him equipping the Shadow Spear here. Really doesn't matter. Now we get to untap. All right, what do we do? So I think I'm just gonna further. Actually don't think I need to do anything. I'll let the Liberator flip, and then next turn I'll start casting stuff if need be. Patience is a virtue. Once again, I'm surprised Luris isn't in his hand as of yet. He's whiffed on 2 Ingenious Smiths up to this point, and now he just got a Memnite. Not great. So that's going to trigger one of the Smiths. I'm actually going to kill it in response. And we will dump... We'll dump a Young Wolf. That's fine. Alright, so we got Chord here, so I'm just going to Chord... I only need it for 2. Go to Blood Artist and we will kill. Do we get a scoop? Frankie is thinking. Why am I out of focus? Yeah, so even though the card didn't get cast, I think this showcases the power of Boseiju in this matchup, and just in general, just having this in my back pocket, I don't think there was any way for him to win this game. So, Boseiju for the win.